on this computer. There you go. So that's going to be what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be working on 3 steps, 3 things that you could practice today and for the rest of your life that are going to sort out the tangled wires that you have in your mind that lead to inevitable frustration. But every time you get a frustration, you have an open door to come closer to your well-being. On the other side of your frustration is what I called future focused well-being. What do you mean? Well, my focus is on the future, and what I'm doing right now is going to ensure that, 20 years from now, I'm doing even better. I'm not going to be accumulating things. When people get old, they're getting tired of accumulating things on their shoulders and their thoughts and their minds, and they can't really breathe anymore, right? Us, what we're doing right now is we're going to do the absolute opposite. We're going to start liberating the things that make it so easy for us to get hurt. Okay, so let's get this started. I will share my screen with you. I didn't even title my PowerPoint presentation yet. You can see how it ends. It ends on a good note. We're going to go through this together. All right. I'm always going to have the same problems with having to adjust. Yeah, my slideshow. There you go. Because my configuration changed. See, that's something I could have done before. I could have done that before. Marvin Theodore. All right, good. So that's what I noticed. Okay, now I got it. I know what happened now. Good. Now I'm gonna have my screen that stays here at the top of the screen here, and I hope it doesn't bother anything for us. Okay, boom, there you go. Okay, 3 steps to eliminate stress once and for all. Look at this. Imagine you're going through your day and there's a path that creates itself for you. Yes, there might be water there. It's okay, but it's still a path that is created for you. And you accept that, hey, that's just part of my day. That's my path. I'm going for it, right? How can you feel that your path is being opened up for you, right? How? And I'm letting you know that your frustrations could help you do that, okay? All right, let's get this started. I hope you're excited for today because I honestly am, okay? All right, so 3 steps. First step, let's start with a quote. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. That comes from Jack Canfield that wrote a book called Chicken Soup for the Soul. I have the book, someone gave that to me, I didn't know why. But indirectly, I understood later on that he sensed something in me that I couldn't sense. He's like, you're like probably like some genius guy that's going to study all his life. I don't know. I never talked to him about that. I repressed that. I was just a personal trainer back then. But he gave me this big ass book of Jack Canfield, and I was able to like absorb what's in there, but finding my own path because it's like big like a Bible. I'm like, I'm going to find another way that has more colors and images to get to understand that. And that's where we are today. So let's just say I have it indirectly, that book in me. So the first step is to identify that there was a real frustration, and that's not obvious. And if you remember presentations, because we like to be in denial. Human beings have a tendency of spending 2/3 of their thoughts in negative things, like stuff they don't want, that they wish is not going to happen to you. And that motivates what they do in life, because you are what you think the majority of the time. So unless you could override the fact that 2/3 of your thoughts are going towards the negative and what you don't want, if your thoughts stay in the majority of that, you are going to go towards what you don't want. So you kind of have to look at the 2/3 of what you do want, right? To kind of shift that balance. What do you want then, right? So when you understand the frustration, well, you have to understand, well, what is it that you wanted that did not happen? Let's just stop right there. Stop your life, right? Stop right now and start identifying what is it that bothered you so much, where you felt that what you wanted, what you're expecting to get, you're not getting it. What do you think really took that away? And is the blame really outside of you, right? So we routinely accept what we can't do about a situation. That's what we call learned helplessness. It's not your fault. Your parents and your environment tried to teach you that. In this situation, that's too smart for you. In this situation, these people are too good for you. In this situation, you're not enough of that yet. Those things kill us in a way, right? Because we end up accepting for ourselves. See, the doubt was created, and then the inner saboteur accepts that, yeah, it's true. I guess I'm not the smartest person in town. Yeah, us in our family, we're not the wisest ones. Oh, us, we're not good cookers of food. Oh, we're lazy ones. You see, it's a learned helplessness. So when you're frustrated, remember, you're accepting in a way that you can't do anything about the situation. And what we're going to do instead is that we take away the blame from ourselves, and then we go look at putting it on other people. So there's no blame to throw around. So I don't even know why blame is there. See, blame, it starts becoming a catastrophe because you're attacking and accusing other people for you suffering. So, but you don't need to say, I was wrong, and really put the blame on you and being harsh. It's more like, so that's what made this happen then. Make it unpersonal. Just look at it as you're studying your life and you're going to do better. So don't be harsh on yourself. Don't discourage yourself of what you could do next. So being too harsh on ourselves doesn't motivate us. It does not motivate us to enjoy what we can do next. You get it? It just makes it feel like I'm good or I'm bad. I'm good and I'm bad. So when you identify frustration, you're doing something that's not obvious and it's not natural to you, because you're not doing what's natural to go blame. You're doing something unnatural, which is to own that you might have a part in this. Good start, huh? All right. So catch it before it mutates. See, when you stay upset at blaming other people, it bends you out of shape. You always complain. Look at our hands. Why the weather did this to me, right? Why those people are so stupid? These people are so cruel. This day, that person. Always out. It's never like, wow, what can I do differently here and regain my posture of breath and thinking, right? So how can I catch this mutation in my thoughts before it turns into something where I so blame other people, I bend myself out of shape. I accept to get bent out of shape when those situations happen again and again in my life. It's going to happen. It's more like, when is it going to show up again? And in what form is it going to show up this time? What frustrated you? So what frustrated you? How is it going to show up next in your life? Are you going to catch it and its mutations, or are you going to let it mutate into you blaming other people for your pain? Because then it's obviously there's nothing that you have to look at yourself for, because it's other people's fault. It gives a sense of empowerment when you get to be angry at someone. Finally, your inferiority complex comes out of the closet and be like, yeah, you like being angry at people because it does give a power trip, and you got to own it. Did you enjoy that power trip? Because you let people talk down on you, so now you get to talk down on someone else, or you get to talk down on nature. It empowers us, but in a delusional way, where we're losing our health and we're losing our intelligence to evolve into giving us future well-being one day at a time. So the real trigger might stay hidden from you for years. So am I going to exercise myself with this tension in me and override it and own it and be like, okay, when this shows up again, I want my mind and my body to be as stable as this lady here? Or am I going to allow myself to get bent out of shape? One or the other. That's why I train in all my exercises, is what you see here in the middle picture. Okay. So second step, what is at the core of the frustration, right? What is at the core of it then? What is its reason for being? Why am I getting this frustration? Well, we discovered that when we do get a frustration, it's a message, it's an email from the unconscious part of yourself, the part of yourself that's like an animal, like a cat. A cat can't say, hi, hello, Marvin, how was your day? It's going to develop a language that I'm going to understand if I'm paying attention. But there might be things the cat does. I'm like, oh, that stupid cat. The cat is very intelligent. It's trying to send me a message. And when I start paying attention to that, I'm going to see that there's a consistency in what they're saying based on what I'm hearing. So your body, when it sends you a signal of frustration, it's for you to go towards the right response, right? Which is to dig into that and make sure that's not going to bother you in the future. But when we avoid those frustrations, or we accept we can't do anything about it, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse with time. And your body has to find new ways of letting you know that you need to check certain things. And we discovered that is when we start getting illnesses mentally or physically in our body. The mental and the physical, scientifically speaking, are not two different things. In the Japanese culture, the heart, the mind are actually known as one thing. They're not saying, oh, your heart and your mind. No, they're the same thing for them. So it's interesting that through different cultures, we get a more complete understanding of who we are. So our frustrations try to give us the image of who we are, the values that are inside of us that we might not be acting out on. So when there's a frustration, one of our values got triggered. It's time to renew that peace with it. So nothing happens for no reason inside of us now. All right, next. Well, look, after work, you might be tired and stuff like that. When you finally get the time to sit down, if you don't get to do it in your car or at work, but you need some silence because there's so much noise in the background. Like that's a dance club like scene. And when you're gonna come home, you're so brain dead that all you could watch is YouTube videos or cat videos, and you just want to laugh and forget your worries. But if you forget about what bothered you in the day, why would anything different happen when it shows up again in your life? So we have this short-sighted wellness. It's like, oh, I got to get away from this. I'm not even going to notice I'm eating more that day, or I'm not even going to notice I'm eating ice cream. I'm not even going to notice I'm eating junk food. I have a craving for something to eat. I have a craving to call certain people. I have a craving to maybe get some, adult favors from a friend, weird relationship. You get it? I'm trying to numb my pain with something outside because I don't have the mental capacity to deal with my troubles. But what if I could sit down and this frustration, you can see the red in the guy's eyes. He has this sword. He's about to strike someone with his mouth. The sword represents your lips. You about to go curse someone with your words and hurt at the core of them. You're going to try to make them feel the pain that you got. Why don't you sit down and review the event instead in that energy, right? And that's why I train like this at the gym, because I try to get that energy when I'm doing my plank. I try to compress all the force that I have into be calm at the same time. I'm creating a contradiction, calm intention. And this is what I'm trying to create here, all right? This part of me needs to level up. This part of me needs to practice to think. That's why I go to the gym and I get that energy to express itself that way and to see, can it feel what's going on inside of my body? That's what you call interoception. It's your ability to sense your organs, your breath, your temperature, anything that's inside of your body that's part of the realm of your unconscious. Like you can't choose to slow down your heart rate and increase it. Some people are able to do it. They did like that for 40 years maybe, and they live in a mountain, but you can't. So it's part of your unconscious processes. But you can influence it at will by choosing to summon certain memories or summon certain aspects of yourself. Like when you choose to relive something from the past, did you know your heartbeat beats the same way as when you were living that painful experience? But now you're going back in a painful experience and you're choosing to be intelligent about it because you're going to be triggered into that state eventually again. Do you want to be intelligent with a sword, or do you want to be a moron that's blinded with a sword? And words hurt more than bruises. You could bruise me, it's going to heal. But there's a way you can say something to me that I'm going to need counseling 12 years from now, and my children will feel the impact. Meaning my children will feel there's something missing in me, perhaps, that's not healed. And that's why it's cool to kind of share your pains with the people that are very close to you, so that they at least know the reality of the struggles that you're going through, especially if you're a role model for them. Okay, so you will discover a lot more than you realize when you consult yourself. Yes, own that anger is inside of you, and that anger could be very intelligent if it practices to be intelligent. All right, third step, make peace with the event, right? There's something that happened, right? Accept and practice what you can do from now. Anger comes when you can't express something. Anger comes when you don't know what to do in this situation, right? So when I don't know what to do in a situation, I will go and blame others as if it's the only option I have. Now, when I go sit down with myself to see what bothered me, I get to be like, wait a minute. Okay, I just didn't know what to do in this situation. So understand what you need to do and try to apply it in a proactive manner. Like, okay, I'm going in a situation where I know this could happen, because you can't really plan for pop quizzes in life. Random events that are catastrophes could happen at any moment. So you're going to have to expose yourself to things that you're routinely avoiding in life, that kind of have a similar sensation of what bothers you, to kind of like see how you could be anti-fragile to it. Meaning the more and more you expose yourself to the frustration, the more and more you kind of like decode what frustrates you about it. And now you could be sincerely at peace without being bothered while being exposed to it. But there's something inside of you that you have to understand to manage. And that's what I'm trying to tell you to do in 3 steps. So you must earn your well-being, okay? Your well-being does not come flowing down from above. Those 2 images that you see here is basically you turn left and that's what you're gonna have to deal with. You turn right and you're dealing with someone else. One, you're dealing with someone that like is flaming up in anger, right? or you're the person that's suspecting you. Just look at their eyes, just looking down on you. It's annoying. When someone talks to you and you feel like they're suspecting you, they're doubting you, it comes and gets you, right? But when you doubt yourself, it could get you too. So there's an inner doubt that you already have in yourself, and other people could come and try to press on those buttons and manipulate you. That's why you got to own it first. Your relationship with pain and frustration must mature. So that's why it's good to have a doubter, because if I have a doubter that I'm consulting, then at least I'm 2 steps ahead of what people could accuse me of. And I know for myself that I wrote down what I did and I'm irreproachable, right? And at least I'm at peace with myself that I'm not going to get figured out, because I know I should have done this and I didn't do it. So no cutting corners when it comes to your health and to your well-being. You got to own your frustrations. And when I'm talking about this, when you earn your well-being, you got to earn your well-being when someone's flaring up. The picture left is the guy flaring up. Like when you feel someone's anger flaring up, well, do you know what to do in that situation? Do you flare up yourself? Well, that turns out great, right? Yeah, never does. So how do you want to be when someone flares up? How do you want to be when you feel someone's looking down on you? You must carve your wellness. You must carve your wellness habits, meaning your character is the most unflexible part of yourself. And that's why when you're able to change your habits on the level of your character, it's what we could expect from you. It's like the momentum of how it's like the momentum of your philosophy of life. And everything seems to go well till you hit a wall. Then you got to recreate a new philosophy to keep going forward, or you're going to stay stuck there in life and feel like you're repeating your life over and over again because you have not gone past that point. So your life keeps repeating itself over and over again, and you don't really feel like you're going anywhere. Why? Because you're not able to make the changes on the level of your character, and your character is the most, it's the highest determining factor of what we could expect from you. It's what follows you. It's like the reality of your reputation. So that's why even if someone would accuse you of doing something wrong, if your character is so on point and has created such a context around the people around you, they will stand up for you when something doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's why you want to be able to be irreproachable to yourself, and you're going to have some witnesses. So can I share an example with you that's going to help you understand like all of what we're talking about? What if we just had an example with images? Would that help us to understand this more clearly? Well, of course. How about I share the story about how I dealt with my last great frustration? And it happened like this week, okay? And in that great frustration, oh, wait a sec, couldn't worry, you might have to mute yourself. Yeah, got it. Awesome, brother. So it happened this week, and it was insane because you see, the reality is I could get angry like that, like the guy you see on the left, like, and you see there's a big hole where my heart is. So it's like, well, how can you be so careless? Well, do you have eyes? You see there's no heart here, right? So we could be heartless with our words. So when I'm in that zone, I want to be able to set a trap that whenever I get that sensation, I trigger the image to the right. And whatever I felt was going to attack me, the snake that I felt was going to attack me, the threat that I felt was coming to me, I embrace it. And I make a rainbow around it. I'm like, all right, so this is what I'm going to deal with, right? From now on in my life, this is how I choose to want to deal with this. And stay tuned. Okay, so it was a nice day. I started to work near my house, which was great. I made all these plans, you know, to make sure that I made the perfect choice. I'm someone that thinks a lot. So I just felt like I had a key to heaven. All right. You know, I'm expecting to save time, money, and energy. Everything's going great so far. Awesome. Great. I'm happy about it. First day, bubble burst. Wherever I had that. Oh, I guess having the time of my life. What could possibly go wrong? Ah, crap. Ah, not again. Ah. Oh. Just I thought like nothing could go wrong. So a frustration starts to swell within me. That's the reality. That's what happened. It is what it is, right? Okay. It bothers me so much that, oh no, I can't even resume my German audio classes. And I love my German audio classes. It's like as if, I don't know, someone that has like eating problems, like eating like ice cream cheesecake at the same time at Dairy Queen's, and they can't even eat it anymore and they drop it. So you know there's something wrong. So then in that energy, see at that flaming moment, you see the image I used, the flaming moment, right? I realized that there's something I need to do. I realized that there's something that disturbed my flow. Why? Because I'm paying attention to it. I'm proactively paying attention to it. And I felt an energy swell in me. Do I know what to do when that happens? Am I going to ruin my evening? Right? and cause scars in other people's feelings, right? Or am I going to own this? It's happening inside of me. And I remember Jim Rohn's wise words. He's a business philosopher, the leading business philosopher in the United States, Jim Rohn, okay? And he said, when you happen to get frustrated, get fascinated about it. And that's exactly what I decided to do. I decided to get fascinated about what bothers me. And it was just so beautiful, right? I'm like, yes, that's awesome. And 24 hours later, I got my solution. It took me 24 hours for my solution to happen. But what did I do? I sent the request to my subconscious. Why do you see the pictures? Because I already used the image of the lion that could rip out someone's throat. Look, he's peaceful now. I got him to calm down and think about Jim Rohn, right? And then the full energy spectrum of a man-woman is that if I'm a man, by default, I have repressed female energy. So I'm showing that the unconscious part of me is shown as the male lion, and the full spectrum of my energy also includes the repressed energy of my female confidence as well. There's a female and a male aspect of me, and I'm not male or female. I'm choosing to be beyond male and female. I'm complete beyond that. Everything within me could satisfy me, and I choose to share this with someone else. So I want more people to be complete. So this is showing me complete, sending my intention. Look, figure this out for me. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Why was I so frustrated? But I'm putting emotion into it. Why was I so frustrated? Why? What happened? Why? I'm thinking. And I spoke about it to someone I care about. And the first night I found a layer. The next morning I found a layer. And by the evening, when it was 24 hours, I had fully discovered what happened. My unconscious had went to work. See, that dark energy, it went to work. It's like, oh, okay, you want me to go get the files of why you're so bothered? Sure, right? And then the next day, I found my answer. And then my shadow came and was like, hey, here you go. We got your answer. We found out what was on your heart, okay? And now I got to realize my mistakes. I had, number one, unrealistic, unverified expectations about how to make it back home in a convenient time frame. I took this job because I know, distance-wise, I should be there in 15 minutes. And it took me an entire hour. Do you imagine how upset I was? But then, did I sit down and verify anything? I didn't do anything about it, so I realized my mistakes. And number one was that. I had unrealistic expectations and I didn't verify it. So I'm just assuming everything's gonna go well. Yeah, said the big moron. Why would something work if you can't verify what's supposed to work, when it's supposed to work? Maybe I didn't understand how to support my expectations. So it still comes back to not knowing what to do here. And I'll continue. I had consulted my shadow to spit out the raw truth. Hey, what really happened here, right? I want to know what it is. And it was this. When I decided to take off my mask of being right, I took off my mask. I don't want to be the hero in the story, and I'm not the enemy in the story. I'm the person that's going to figure out what's going on here, okay? And I noticed that I had feelings of failure that arise in me. Doubt or hint, I hate wasting my time came out here. I felt that energy. I also felt the energy of me ruminating, like, oh, blah, 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 about the comparisons of, oh, in the past, I could do that distance in that time. Oh, I could get home I could go from in front of my house to Montreal in 35 minutes. Now I'm beside my house. I could bike there in 15 minutes and it took me an hour. See, you got to catch yourself doing that too. So I took off that mask, right? And I decided to be humble. Okay, all right, what's going on here? I took off my mask. What's going on here, right? I'm a learning person. I'm a student of life. I decided to be humble about it. And the biggest thing that angered me is that I felt powerless to express what I wanted, powerless in terms of what I can do in that given situation. I felt powerless. There's nothing I could do. I did not consult my doubter. I did not. Consulting my doubter would have revealed to me all the things that could go wrong with the probability of events, with what's probable to happen, what's possible to happen. I could have calculated that. I did not consult that. So you see, your doubter's not there to bring you down. They're real. They're going to help you concrete your dreams, to make your dreams an actualization, a reality. So I will never stumble on that frustration again. It was the biggest victory in my life. Whatever happened there under all its forms will never happen again. It's being etched into my character habit. So if any form of this happens in the future, you could expect me to do whatever sequence I did in less time because I'm going to be proactive about it. I know what could catch me off guard. I have a greater sense of my inner reality now. I am more professional about what can bother me before it occurs. And I have a better habit now to be at peace with myself in less time by directly owning instead of blaming my frustrations on the outside circumstances. And last slide for us today. I wish you a powerful week. My last takeaway for you: to reset my conscious breath and posture throughout the day has always been my clearest path to radiant well-being. I noticed that when I stumbled on yoga and I started practicing my yoga every day throughout the entire day with my breathing, that was the most enlightened part of my life. When I experimented with sitting meditation, it was cool, but active meditation, I'm more compatible with that. But I could get the feeling that I want, whether I'm sitting or walking. The active meditation, just to keeping the breath alive consciously, is what acts as a CPR of your well-being. It acts as a CPR of your wellness. It's a CPR of your well-being. So whenever you feel frustration, can you re-engage it? So I'm just someone that re-engage. I reset my posture and breath more often than other people. But I have to admit, I have to own, if the situation happened to me, I have to accept that, you know what? Maybe my discipline went down a bit. Maybe it was at A+, it's not at an A+ anymore. And I got to be real with myself. Maybe my breathing is at C+ or at a C- right now. I got to own that. Do I need to be down with myself? Or can I just confirm that I know what my path is by what I want and what I don't want? See, what I got when I realized that this frustration happened, I realized I was not powerless in this situation. I was just not proactive enough to be at peace with random events. So I thank you for today for joining. And yeah, with the time we started, perfect, awesome. And I just really want to thank you for what we got to view today, because I said I'm really breaking it down in 3 simple steps. And I really hope that you got to understand those 3 simple steps, because when I send the images, like with the cameras that I'm on, yeah, that's exactly it. The unconscious processes. Instead of getting pissed off, I choose to give a camera to why am I so pissed off? I can't get mad if I'm looking at why I'm mad. And just being able to see ourselves acting in life, where I could look at myself, like I could see myself angry type of thing. Well, if I could see myself being angry, then I understand that there's the me experiencing life and there's the me that could see and measure that experience. Something weird in that, right? And then you could catch yourself working yourself up in anger, and you could catch yourself now working yourself back into your ideal state. And that's what I wish for every one of you today. Thank you, everyone. If there's any comments.
Merci beaucoup, Marvin.
Merci, mon ami. Thank you. Thank you, Shirley.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Have an awesome day, Marvin. Take care.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye, Kunwer. Bye, Heidi.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
You too. Thank you.